Welcome back, Astro fans. First things first, hop onto this website and pick yourself up a lift kit. I chose the 2 to 3 inch because I really don't need that much. First things first, get these bolts off. They are both 21 millimeter. The rust looks very intimidating, but it's only surface rust and it will chip away. Get yourself a 21 millimeter wrench, one that ratchets, like mine, and you might want like a breaker bar, impact gun, or anything half-inch. And that's also a half-inch 21 millimeter socket. Yes, it's 21 millimeter metric, not standard. If you get a standard, you're just going to strip it all out, and you're really going to be up a creek without a paddle. So there goes the nut, nice and easy. And then eventually you want to kind of just break the bolt away a little bit from the inside because there can be surface rust in there as well. And from mechanicking for about 15 years now, this is really the only way to remove a stuck bolt like that. There's a rust ridge, most likely on the other end. You got to break that rust ridge, as you can see, where it's kind of rusty on the inside of that middle part of the bolt. It's a slow, arduous process. It took me a long time, but eventually it came right out. As you will see, I'm using whatever I can to push and pull while I am spinning it out, going lefty loosey. That way those threads will catch onto some of that metal like that, like right here, and then eventually it will release. So if you're getting stuck there, you have to literally just keep going. That is one thing I learned fixing cars for so many years, is just you have to keep going, like this. You just gotta keep going, and eventually it'll come right out. All right, so now this part, you'll easily be able to see that hole from underneath, and you can access it with just a simple long 21 millimeter socket, like that one. That's, I think, a 3-inch socket. It's an impact one too. Those work the best. They bite down onto the bolt. You want to wiggle it like that too, because you have to break the rust off the hat of the bolt so that socket fits on there flush. And for the next maybe 10 minutes, you're just going to be cranking away. That's a little half-inch one there, and you can hear the bolt like slowly just kind of coming apart. And here I grab my big pry bar to just kind of really give her hell. And then eventually I grab my impact gun because, it's just a faster process. And that other side, you definitely want to hold on to it with your 21 millimeter wrench. And that other side is where the nut is at. So that's going to come off first, like you'll see right here. Boop. And I got a little lucky here, and this bolt just came right out, along with me pulling the socket out. Bing. Easy day. Now, removing the shackle was a little weird. You want to remove it towards the front of your vehicle, as you're about to see. I didn't have a really big pry bar. I usually have like a 3-foot pry bar with me, but I didn't bring it when I moved out of my house, so I had to improvise a little bit more. So if you have a really big breaker bar, you'll be able to bend that leaf spring out, and that thing will just literally fall out way quicker than what I did. And here's a side-by-side. So as you can see, I'm, just pulling on the leaf spring. It's not really that, heavy duty. So you want to get that top portion in. You want that flat side facing the back, because there is a Zerk fitting for grease on the shackle that has to be pointing towards the front of the vehicle. Otherwise, no one can access it. And yes, I highly recommend to fill that thing with grease, so that way that bushing can last a nice long time and you don't have to swap that thing out every few years. So here I just get the bolt set. I don't clamp it down at all yet. Just get them set in there. Pound that thing in, pull down on that leaf spring with my little screwdriver. Again, big pry bar will go so much faster. Then boop, slide that little bolt in there, a little more WD-40, just to, lube it up a little, and then bam, there it is. That's the point you got to get to, and that's how that thing has to look. The flat side pointing the back of the van. Yeah. And here we go. Just, use a nice big hammer to pound the rest of it in. Put the nut on. zip up the top and zip up the bottom. Now I'm only showing you one side because the other side is literally identical, so just repeat the same process on the driver's side and that's it. Right now I'm running the GoPro underneath just to see it do its thing, and then on the next little bit is gonna be shocks in the back. I got these shocks at O'Reilly's. They're load shocks, which is really cool. So they're way more heavy duty than these. Real fast, 18 millimeters for the nut there, and it's going to be a 15 millimeter for the hat of the bolt on the other side. But yeah, these load shocks are so amazing. They've been on now for about a month, maybe a little more than a month. And my God, has it transformed the way this van moves. It's quite nice, and they're gas charged, so it's more high quality. So here you just zip off that nut. You don't even have to really hold the back of that bolt. As you can see, it'll just slide right out, but you have to get the bottom nut out first to really get it all out, which is happening right now. Boop, boom, done. Pull that sucker out, 15 mil on that side, and then you'll see it just hanging there. Just pull it off, throw it, see ya. Get the new one, put that right back on there. Alright, I don't know how well all this is gonna fit, but we'll find out. Bam. Now this part, a little tricky. This part needs to get compressed. And you don't need to lift the van up to do shocks. You really don't. It does help because then you don't have to do this next step that I'm doing, but I needed to use this to do that, so I opted to not lift up my van quite a bit. And this just takes a little bit of patience, but you know, it goes in. Just keep doing that over and over. Once you get the holes lined up, then you can obviously insert the bolt. You might have to do some finagling with the screwdriver, but you'll get it. Then zip them down again with your 18 millimeter and whatever power source you like to use. And there she is. Easy. That literally only took me like maybe 10 minutes. Maybe a little bit more, but it's fast. You should be able to knock that out. Very minimal tools, very minimal experience. These same steps apply for the other shock. Damn it, that silver thing in front of you. Ow.
Sorry. You said hand, not throw.
That's it. The difference between a good shock and a bad shock is this. That was a little too easy. And as you can see, it's not coming back out. This one, you see that one's coming out. So that one works. This one is not doing shit. And then I have to do tie rods in the front, shocks in the front, and then I'll do the body lift in the front. But I'll have to also get an alignment done with that. So I'm gonna try to plan all those things together. I'm not gonna do them probably today. I'll probably do them in the future. Woo! Woo! Where's that on the floor? It's a lighter. All right, just about out of the BLM here. So I'm gonna retrieve my GoPro and I'm gonna go take this baby for a test drive. That's probably the fastest way you can do a really easy little booty lift to your Astro van. Looking forward to doing the front. It's going to be a little bit more involved because you have to raise the body off the frame, which is could be a little intimidating, especially if you don't have a lift. And that one's going to be interesting. So stick around for that one if you are interested in that one. I'm going to also be doing front shocks, tie rods, just going to kind of rebuild the front end a little bit. I've been really beating it up, so yeah. I will be going back to my hometown end of June, so I might be able to borrow a lift at my old shop that I worked at, and that'd be really cool because then I can do it there, film it there, do the alignment myself maybe, if I even remember how to do it. yeah, so that's how you do that. Leave me any questions about anything. I will answer them. Go to my Instagram, DM me. It's way easier to get a hold of me there than in the comments. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all, please. If you have something nice to say it. And if you say something not nice, guess what kind of answer you're going to get. So, for all of you watching, thank you. I know this channel is not like primarily Astro Van 100% content. It's not supposed to be. It's just happened that way because I just got an Astro last June. So, like I said before in a previous video, a lot of this channel is just me being me, traveling, doing things that I do, hanging out with friends, blah, 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 blah. So, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Whatever. See ya.